Good evening and welcome to Metro Focus. I'm Rafael P. Roman. On the Today Show this morning, Time magazine announced the Silence Breakers as its 2017 Person of the Year. The women featured in the article range from senators to housekeepers to actresses to Uber engineers. And some of the more prominent faces include Taylor Swift and Ashley Judd. And with me now here at Time's New York headquarters to talk about this year's selection, some of the runners-up, and more generally about the Time's Person of the Year tradition, which goes all the way back to 1927, is one of the writers of this year's story, Stephanie Saharic. Stephanie, thanks for talking to us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So let's begin with a choice. Talk about the Silence Breakers and the process by which they became the 2017 Times Person of the Year.
Well, the Person of the Year is not always necessarily a role model. It is generally the person or persons who have had the most influence in the culture and in the world. But this year, I think they actually are role models. They're women who have spoken out against sexual harassment in the workplace. And it's this movement that it seems to have come out of nowhere, but actually we kind of traced some of the roots of it, and the thing that was most impressive about it was how quickly it sprung up and how quickly it gathered steam. And as the editors here were discussing who should be the Person of the Year, it just kind of emerged as the front runner very quickly.
Stephanie, I wonder if we can go back for a second and you can elaborate on the key criteria that you use to determine the Person of the Year.
It basically has to do with influence. For instance, last year, our Person of the Year was Donald Trump because he didn't come out of nowhere, as we know, but he changed the world like overnight, not necessarily in a positive way. So there are all kinds of factors that go into that decision, and there are always runners-up. There are always people who could just as easily have made that list.
You know, but I've already read, since this morning's announcement, articles that say, well, listen, if the criteria is, the principal criteria is somebody who's fundamentally transformed the world, then Donald Trump, by all accounts, should have gotten it this year as well. Because, I mean, he's turned so many things upside down in this last year, from the country's position on climate change, to immigration, to refugees, to healthcare, plus turning the culture around for better or for worse. Why he came in second? Why only second? Somebody said you guys just didn't want to give it to him again.
I have to say he features very prominently in our story, because when we started to trace back, how did this movement begin? When did women start to become really angry? We looked at the Access Hollywood tape, which was revealed very shortly before the election, and it made a lot of women angry at the time. And then he won the election. And we realized that this man, who had talked about women in a way that was not just disrespectful, but was just completely dismissive and crude. I mean, he used language that I cannot repeat to you on television. Women were really, really angry. And so they gathered, they marched the day after the inauguration. And then when the Harvey Weinstein scandal broke just a few months ago, it was, that was a flashpoint, but the kindling had already been made.
So who are some of the other runners-up for this year's Person of the Year?
Aside from the aforementioned, Colin Kaepernick, who obviously is very significant this year for having taken a stand that is very unpopular. But I mean, I just don't think you can deny that that's really, you know, his position and his bravery and his, you know, sticking to what, you know, to what he believes in is incredibly inspiring. The Chinese president, of course. Who else?
The Dreamers. The Dreamers, right?
The Dreamers. Well, they actually weren't runners-up, but I'm sure that they came up. I know they came up in early conversations. So.
All right, so let's talk about this tradition. As I said in the introduction, it's 90 years old. Where did it spring from? What was the original goal? What is the goal today?
Well, since the first Time Person of the Year was in 1927, obviously we know that the culture in the world has changed a great deal since then. And I think probably the concept has evolved to, I think at the beginning it probably was someone who was like really admirable and someone that you wanted to, kind of put in a positive light. And now, as we discussed earlier, it's a little bit different. It's just someone who is incredibly influential. So,
And quickly, Stephanie, when did Man of the Year become Person of the Year?
more recently than you might think. It was sometime in the early to mid 1990s,
Really?
I believe. Yeah. So,
Wow, so the Person of the Year has come a long way.
yes,
Stephanie, thank you so much.
thank you.